occupational hazard, it is so worth it. I've just been speaking to some of the people who went on this expedition, and only good news is what I can tell you. So much so that, in fact, the Seychelles has said, we want in on the action. We want to be part of this East 3 route. I wonder if it's going to be called the East 4 route anytime soon, but that's something we'll talk about at a later stage. With me is the MEC for Economic Development and Tourism here in KZN, Michael Mabuyakhulu. You did speak about him a little bit earlier in your introduction, Valen. He's here with me. I like to think that you wrap up in KZN last year and this year because KZN knows how to throw a good party and wrap it up nicely.
Well, it's a combination of factors. One of them is that. The other one is the fact that we have agreed as the members of the Eastern Route that it will be important for us to be able to ensure that KZN end this year because we started in Mozambique. So we felt to start Mozambique, go to Swaziland, and KZN should be a logical ending point for us.
Although this concept was, signed and put pen to paper in 2011, it was conceived as far back as 1998, a vision of former President Nelson Mandela, his Mozambican counterpart, and of course His Royal Highness the King in Swaziland. Tell us a bit about the reason behind it. What did he have in mind, and what did you want to do when you said, let's put this into action?
For us, when we put this in action, when we came up with this concept, of course, we were building on what our leaders, as you have correctly mentioned, were able to agree on in 1998. But one of the things we decided to do was the concept of the Eastern Route emanate because the East represent, it's an acronym. E represent exchange of culture and heritage. For us, that is important. And we therefore say A represent adventure, S represent the scenery beauty that these countries have, and T represent trade. So we have been very clear that this concept must be about us promoting these countries and marketing and repositioning them. And we are glad that, of course, this year we're joined by the Seychelles, and we think, therefore, we'll remain with the concept of the East route, but we will also, of course, add the Seychelles. And the reason for this is that we want to promote tourism, we want to promote trade between these countries, we want to attract and promote investment, both domestic investments and foreign direct investments, but we want to ensure that governments too are able to invest in infrastructure to be able to actually stimulate the growth of the tourism industry. And for us, if we can do that, it would mean therefore that our people who must also become beneficiaries of this, must also benefit in employment, we must deal with the issues of poverty, but we must also address the issues of inequality that exist in these countries.
To the pessimist who may be thinking this is such a waste of money, why not leave the money here at home? Don't invest in tourism, build schools, build houses, and keep it right here at home. Forget tourism and travel. We've got problems here at home. What do you say to that pessimist?
A person who says so is someone who has not actually understood that tourism, as we speak right now globally, is employing in excess of about 400 million people in the world. So it is the biggest employer creator in the world, tourism. But also it is a foreign currency earner for the country and for all of us. So it is important for us to do so. When we talk about our own GDP here in South Africa, tourism is now able to contribute higher than many sectors, close to about 10%. So what we were saying, it is actually opportune for us to invest in the growth sector of the future so that we can be able to create jobs, so we can be able to create employment. So for me and for many of us who are partnering, we understand precisely that tourism is the new gold, that we do not go underneath to dig, but we must have it, and it is one of our natural capital.
There have been incidents in South Africa of xenophobic attack. I want to ask from you, does tourism have a role to play? Perhaps if we can make it more affordable for South Africans to go and visit their neighbors, such as this initiative that you have launched, can it go a long way to fostering an understanding of our neighbors and perhaps an acceptance of them here at home?
Tourism, and this route in particular, is about promoting and encouraging the private sector to put together tour packages so they can sell in Mozambique, in Swaziland, in the Seychelles. If we are able to market this destination and these countries through this route and be able, all of us, to pool marketing resources and spend together, we can see more. But within that, we can encourage the movement of our people and increase inter and intra-tourism. And in that regard, we will have more appreciation of one another. I can tell you, when we went to Gaza, in Bilane, in Mozambique, we were well received. When we went to Swaziland, in Pixpeak, we were well received. And I think people must learn to say, we think we must live together as Africans. And in any way, the biggest growth sector in terms of tourism contribution in this country, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, come from the African continent. So for us, it is wise to focus on this continent because that's where we see growth numbers of tourists coming here.
MEC, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. The MEC here in KZN for Economic Development and Tourism, Mr. Michael Mabuyakhulu, highlighting the importance of intra-Africa travel as well. Speaking of the increase in tourism from African visitors coming here to South Africa. So it's something we will continue casting a spotlight on, talking about it, economic development, transformation, sharing of ideas. That's what we're focusing on this morning. The East 3 route is in the spotlight here on Morning Live. We're going to take a short